God, deep breath. So I've I haven't been doing any podcasting. I had been podcasting for many years, like pretty steadily. When I would get an inspiration, and I mean also like making videos as well. And I've really not been. Um, I've been There's been a couple of things. One of the things is that I have to find a different way to actually create my podcast. My son, who's like a lot more tech savvy than I am, found a way to like erase a bunch of stuff so that my phone wouldn't be all chugged up and it would free up my data and saving things on my cloud and all of that. But in the process, I lost the app that I create podcasts on. Although I will say, I really liked making podcasts where you couldn't see me. I liked that a lot. I would prefer that when I'm talking about, I guess, things that are really important to me. Although I talk about things that are important to me where you're seeing my face as well. But um, anyway, so I just got this inspiration to do this podcast today, and I'm just going to go live, and then I'm going to upload the podcast. And I turned off the so that nobody can chat. Um, I had somebody in my last chat that was he was super bothersome to me. I don't know why I thought it was a he, and I don't know why I even thought it was a person. But this person was disagreeing with a lot of the things I was saying, which is like in some ways fine. But um, there's a couple things with it. Like one of the things is like it's super bothersome to me when somebody like tries to say like, where's your proof, about something, like especially when it comes to like the the that DJT has actually raped people. Like not even just like adults and children, but we know uh adults. And even by his own like admission, he has talked about violating people. But I don't really want to get into that per se right now. It's just, and it was really strange. I had this happen like, also I was out. I had gone out to see uh, a band. This was a few weekends ago, and I may have been talking about that on my last live that I'm using as a podcast platform. My last live that I had. These are people that I've known for many years. And it wasn't even the people that I've known for many years. It was a friend of the people that I've known many years, and I've known her, this friend, for many years, and they were talking, sorry, crap about about Katie Hobbs, who is the governor of Arizona. And she's up for re-election, and I really like her. I like her a lot. I don't know everything she's doing, and I do trust her. But they were making this, and the lady, not my friends, were making this insinuation about, I don't even know how to say it, Sharia law. Like, I don't even know how to say Sharia law. I don't even know anything about it. Have I read the Quran? No. Do I have respect for Muslim people? Yes. Do I want the Muslim religion to take over my country? No. Not any more than I really want the Christian religion to take over my country. I don't really want the Bible to be the law of the land either. That's just the way that I feel about it. But anyway, so she was talking about Sharia law. So I decided to go back and read, because Katie Hobbs had vetoed something regarding Sharia law in Arizona. And she had actually vetoed about 100 bills that had come up. And But the one regarding Sharia law, basically, she said it's not an issue. It's a non-issue. That's why she um, decided to veto this bill that had been presented to her. And I think it's true. I mean, I don't think there's very many, like, it's like Sharia law is not a threat in Arizona. I mean, Arizona is actually a mixture of a lot of different types of people, which is like really cool. Like we have a lot of native people in our state that I absolutely love, and we have a lot of Hispanic people that I really love. I've worked with them for many years, like even people that didn't speak Spanish, like didn't speak English, and I just absolutely adored these families. I used to go to their homes because I would be working with their children, and I'm going to give you an example of one of them. It was uh, this child. The children at the time that I was working with were under 3 years old because I was working in early intervention, and and this little girl had had a stroke. She wasn't even yet 3, so she was between 2.5 and 3 years old when I started working with her. And she didn't have great use of her left arm, and so I would bring over paint. So I bring over paper and paint, and she loved. And every single week, she would ask for paints, and it forced her to do things because she had to hold the paper. She had to hold the paper, and then she had to use her other hand to actually paint. But anyway, and she wasn't quite walking yet either, so she wasn't using her hands like equally, and she wasn't walking yet either. And I was telling my daughter recently that I had taken over this, like, it was like this really like high end, like not the most expensive little baby carrier that, and it wasn't for a baby, it was for a doll. It was a doll carrier. I'd taken it over there. I was going to give it to the family. So I'd taken it over hoping that this little girl would start to like, because I was trying to get her to like stand by the sofa and then go from the sofa to something else. And so, and then it was the last time I went to visit the family. I'll never forget it. And I had also, like, I bought them this bubble machine. And I have to just put this plug in just right now. This woman kept her home immaculately clean. I mean, they may not have had a lot of money, but what they had, they took really great care of. And her place was immaculately clean. And I always had a lot of respect for that because I am just not an immaculately clean kind of person. I would like to be, but I'm just not there right now in my life. Anyway, so the last time I went to visit them, the little girl was pushing the cart, like was pushing the baby doll with her doll in it, and also we had put the bubbles on it, so the entire living room was like lit up with all of these bubbles, and it was like the coolest thing ever. But anyway, so I've worked with all of these like Mexican families, but like they're not necessarily always from Mexico. They can be from other um, countries. But anyway, so Arizona, what I was saying in the beginning is that Arizona is really a mixture of a lot of different ethnicities, which I think that a lot of states are like that. But anyway, there's so much going on in the country. I actually don't have like we have a TV in our house, but I don't watch it. I mean, I do watch like Netflix. In fact, I've started watching this silly little Netflix thing, something Dr. Best, Martin Best. I think it's based on Dr. Martin, which was a British like series that I used to actually. I used to put it on so I could sleep when I had really bad insomnia. And for some reason, a British accent puts me to sleep. And so I watched this British show called Doc Martin for many years, like just had it on when I was attempting to sleep. But anyway, and so this is like getting me out of like what's actually going on in the country. I'm able to like just escape and I'm also taking a course and I have this book I have to read and about children and anxiety and so anyway, I have other things I need to be doing, but am I doing that all the time? No. I am still scrolling through my social media to find out what's going on. I have this like, I don't know, like this incessant fear that if I don't pay attention, something like really horrible is going to happen and I'm going to miss it. But I'm not really sure that it's like so good for my mental health or in my health in general. But anyway, one of the things that's going on in the country that is really, really got me is that in the last year, from what I heard, like the tally was like somewhere around 22 Black individuals have been hung randomly in like different states, like North Carolina. This lady, this was really sad. I hadn't talked about her before, but she had gone to Florida for a Juneteenth celebration and did not come home. She was found hanging from a tree. And then this one isn't the latest one. There's been several lynchings since this one. Oh God, I can hardly stand it. This beautiful woman. And they're not being investigated. They're being said to be suicides and it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous that Black people would just be randomly hanging themselves all over the country. And they're not even being looked into. They're not even being investigated. And so it begs the question, like there was one, I don't have her picture. I don't think she's either of these women, but I don't have this individual's picture, but it was so high up in the tree. She was so high up in the tree that that emergency personnel had to get her down. How would she get herself up in a tree like that? And then they're not investigating them at all. So like somebody was saying that they think it's the police and that it's more than one person. And I mean, also like the question, like there's flock cameras all over the place. They're talking about how we're all being surveilled, we're being taped, that the government knows what we're doing. They know everything that's going on. They're giving tickets to people, for like even having a phone in their lap, but they don't know who is killing these Black people. I'm a high school counselor, and today I was in the cafeteria. I do lunch duty every day. And there was this grouping of young men, young boys. I mean, they're not adults, so what do I call them? Young people, but they're of the male persuasion. And there were like a couple of Black boys, and then there was a couple of white boys, and the white boys were talking to the Black boys and like in this way, and I was like, I'm just standing there just in case, like. And I'm listening, and they were talking something about how the white boys were saying that the Black boys sweat more or something. And then the Black boy said to the white boy he said, the only difference between you and I is the color of our skin. So some of you may know that like about a year and a half ago, I joined the Martin Luther King committee here in the town I live in. And so I attend these meetings about once a month. I was there for the Juneteenth. I don't think I have one readily available at the table at my desk, but this is actually not my desk. This is kind of like a secret space in my space. But anyway, I had made these zines. I'd made these zines for Juneteenth because, like, honestly, I'm not sure what Juneteenth is. It's a relatively new idea for me. And so I made these zines because I had a feeling that there were other people that wouldn't know what Juneteenth is themselves. And so I was at this Juneteenth celebration and it was really beautiful. The Martin Luther King last year and the year before I was there, and this year I helped to get the celebration together. It was really interesting because there's this like local school that they have it like a school event, and so the whole school comes and we have this like kind of mini like a walk, like I can't think of the name of it right now. We had this mini walk. I mean, it's not a long walk, but this year we had just all these flags. But we also had rainbow flags, and some of the parents at the school were upset about our rainbow flags and are not going to let their kids go this year. They believe that we're somehow, by a child having a rainbow flag, we are somehow indoctrinating a child. There were other things that happened during that, but I can't recall what they are right at the moment. I can't remember what other things had come up regarding that particular celebration and how we're going to have to change, change the celebration this year a little bit based on the feedback that we got last year. There were other things, but I can't remember what they were right now. Good. I can't remember the negative. Yay! Anyway, so I've been incredibly concerned about Black people being all over the country, being found hung from trees. I have another picture, I think close by over here, of this young man. I can't imagine like sending like my child going off to the convenience mart and never coming home just based on this color of their skin, like for any reason them not coming home, but them not coming home based on the color of their skin. So that's just one thing. And then I continue to be incredibly concerned about what is going on with ICE, but also the idea of dissent. I don't know how privy y'all are to that. There were like about 5 people who were sentenced to like ridiculous amounts of time in federal prison because they were deemed a terrorist because they were protesting ICE. Like one of the gentlemen wasn't even there. He just had, I guess, anti-ICE literature, I think it had something to do with Zens, which I was talking about earlier. It had something to do with Zens, and so they arrested him, and then he's in like prison for 30 years. Wasn't even at the protest. I think they've like arrested some people in Minnesota as well. I mean, along with just the blatant murder of individuals just on the street, this has absolutely not even a little bit to do with anything more than the color of a person's skin and descent. So I'm worried about that. I mean, as far as I know, I mean, I've heard recently that they're going back to like sending people to countries that they've never even been to. That they're putting them on a plane and then sending them to some random country that they've never even been to. And I mean, in some ways, this may sound horrible, but like in my mind, it's better that they at least got out of here and that they are not in a detention center, a prison camp. They are detaining babies. They're detaining children, and telling a child that he needs to get a lawyer. So I go back to what I was referring to before, that I have worked with these people, and they're just wonderful, and I don't understand. I mean, I genuinely don't. Um, I don't. I mean, it's like people may be unhappy that they want to say that these people are taking the resources, but they're not. The resources are actually not there for us either. It's not there for them, and it's not there for us. I mean, I think that's part of the angst for us. That so many people are just in this in-between state where they are barely able to make ends meet and pay their premiums on their insurance, but they don't want these other people getting a freebie. They perceive that they get a freebie, and they don't want them to get those freebies, especially people who weren't born here. God forbid they get a freebie. So I mean, we got that going on, but then like also I've been really concerned about what's going on with like honestly, like the debt. Like, not that I've been like this person who's been, like a magnifying glass, like fixated on the United States debt. That is just not a thing. But like, it's up to like $40 trillion, and I guess last Friday, and I'm just talking. I'm not even sure. I have not verified these facts, but I had heard that Japan is selling off the United States debt, and things are not looking good. And something's going on with the Trump family and the Supreme Court allowing them to have some bank. And and so I'm concerned about that, but also these like crazy data centers. So like they're talking about Gary, Indiana. That Gary, Indiana does not have power. They have not had power. Hopefully they may have had their power turned on today, but it's not just in Gary, Indiana. It's like in Hawaii, it's in like other states along with Gary, Indiana. And people are warning us of a power outage, that it's coming, and they're warning us that it could be upwards of 18 months before the power comes back on. There's this like insinuation that they're going to completely change the power grid in the United States, which would not surprise me in the slightest, because like if people don't get their money, they don't get their money, things are not good. The power companies. So I mean, when everything goes to like for profit, it just goes bad. Like I remember when I was getting my degrees, when I was getting my education, it was affordable. My son's like his bachelor's degree was like $120,000. And like luckily he was he doesn't he was super lucky, but like $120,000, a state college. We're not talking about Harvard. He went to ASU. And I've been like screaming about this with my kids for like years. I've been just like, when stuff goes for profit, it just becomes like unaffordable. And they are warning us that they're trying to privatize Social Security, which is super interesting. Like, just thinking about how much money like a person my age has put into Social Security. I mean, I haven't put in as much as even other people, because other people have made probably substantially more money than I have, but I've been putting money into Social Security for many years, and it's actually a really good program that like right now is doing really well, but they want to take it. They want the money that we have all been paying into for decades. They want to take it. I mean, I heard something about they still haven't paid off the Iraqi war. I'm laughing because I don't know what else to do. They still haven't paid off the Iraqi. They love nothing more than to, get their hot little hands on the money we've been putting into for decades. And just not wanting, I mean, it's and not knowing what's going to happen with our insurance. I heard this little blurb today, about about Mondani. It's because y'all know, or maybe you don't know, I don't know, but Mondani had like put into effect some law that if you have a second home that's worth over $5 million or something, he was going to raise your property taxes. And so these people own like a home there and a home in Florida. And so they're trying to see that their home in New York is like is their first home, not their second home, so that they don't have to pay taxes. I mean, God forbid rich people have to pay taxes. God forbid rich people have to pay taxes. I mean, like, God forbid, It's like, God forbid. I, for one, I don't understand why we would not want our money to go for things for us. I don't understand that. Like, people are so against, like, like the newest thing, they're trying to, like, demonize, I don't even know what I am at this point, because I don't trust either side, to be honest. I don't trust the Democrats, and I don't trust the Republicans. Except I trust the Democrats more than I do the Republicans, but they try to like argue about socialism, and then like they're trying to like use the word communism over and over and over again. And we're not talking about communism. It makes me laugh. Anyway, as if any of us like really understand, like truly understand the meaning of all of this, like unless you like really have done your research. And I'm just going to say, I haven't. I don't know what I'm talking about. All I know is that I want my tax money. I want our government money to go for us, for our health care, and to help people who are having a hard time. I think there is no better way to spend our money than on ourselves. And then when we get older, so that we can draw on our money so that people that are old are not destitute, that they have money to live on when they are not working anymore. I mean, I can't think of a better reason. I mean, I see a point to having like a military, but I I mean, we spend most of our money on the military, instead of, we're not saving programs for the people. And it kind of seems like honestly, somebody had said today is like, don't think that I'm nihilistic, like about himself. Like he was saying, I don't want the people who listen to me to think that I've become nihilistic. And I was thinking about how I've become nihilistic. I have. Like, I have never seen anything like this in my lifetime. I have never seen the government just being flat out destroyed. The Department of Education, the safety nets to make sure that our food is safe. The you know, our healthcare system, what stuff that JFK is doing, trying to change the and I have been, admittedly, I'm like kind of a little bit wonky regarding vaccinations myself, like because I have a history with vaccinations with my children that I'm not going to get into in this hot minute, but um this person is not a doctor. This person is a lawyer. RFK is a lawyer. And he acts like he knows what he's doing, and he does not know what he's doing. And like just the whole idea of our government just being so anti-science. Just anti-science, like altogether. It's like I even forgot to talk about like all the other stuff that has me like all freaked out. Like I'm not sure what's going to happen with this election. And then the Supreme Court said something about, you know, like DJT and like mail-in ballots, and then like allowing the government to get a hold of our voting records. You think he's going to send Democrats a ballot if he doesn't have to? You think he's going to do that? I mean, he's been trying to like have it to where women can't vote. I mean, God forbid women should vote. Like they think that the worst thing in the world is a woman. I mean, she has her place, right? She's just supposed to be at home caring for children that they desperately need. We are not having enough children, so we need those women at home having children. Which is ironic that I'm talking about that because I have 3 children. I raised 3 amazing kids, and I enjoyed being a mother, and I have no regrets about being a mother. I've contributed to society. I have raised 3 productive members out there in the workforce. It's like I just, but I don't know what's going to happen with the elections. I mean, I really don't. And like, even if we are able to vote, like this was one of the things I was like very concerned about, like, a year and a half ago. I was on my station talking about how I like voting. Voting is like, I don't know if it's really doing anything, but if it's not doing something, then why do they not want us to be able to vote? If it's a pointless act, then why do they not want us to be able to vote? It's like freedom for me, but not for you. I just like, I don't understand it. And then like certain races, they don't want black people to vote. Why don't they want black people to vote? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't get that. I don't understand this. I could understand people that aren't from this country. I can't imagine a person who is not from this country trying to vote. I don't think it's a big issue. I think that they are making it an issue because they're just trying to mess up the whole voting system. So I become pretty nihilistic. I'm concerned, about all these rich people in their bunkers, like DJT himself. He's got his medical center there under his ballroom. He's got, and then we're running out of water. We're running out of water. And then like, oh, the data centers need all this water and energy. And then I'm like hearing like they could create it to where they don't need fresh water for their data centers. What are these data centers? What are they? Like, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen like my government turn on me like this. Like the government is just turning on its people. Like genuinely. They do not care. The writing's on the wall. Like, it is obvious. There are some who care, some of them, but most of them don't. And I'm going to say on both sides of the aisle, because if the Democrats really cared about us, this would not be happening, and they would have done something entirely different. But this administration could not afford not to win this election. This last election. They couldn't afford it because they have plans for us. I mean, with the billions of dollars they're siphoning off, Lord knows how much. Lord knows how much money. Is like, where is all this money going? I was like wondering, where did all the money from the tariffs go? Where did all the money from Venezuela go? Where did all this money go? Super interesting. And then I had heard, like, when the Supreme Court said that it was unlawful and they had to pay back this money, and then they gave the money back to the corporations who were taking money from us. They didn't give the money back to us. They gave it back to the corporations. Anyway, I do believe, I'm going to end, but I do believe that the way that we make a difference is in trying to live our best life. I really believe that. And so while I sound very nihilistic, I also believe that the best thing that we can do for humanity at this moment is try to live the most joyful life that we possibly can and just care for the people around us. And so that's what I'm doing. I mean, it doesn't sound like it, but that's actually what I'm doing. Anyway, love you guys.